There's a new threat from North Korea. The communist nation says it's in the final stages of enriching uranium, which essentially means it's a lot closer to developing more ways of making nuclear weapons. It's North Korea's latest warning that it's pushing ahead with this nuke program, notwithstanding international calls to stop. Now, keep in mind the threat comes just a month after former President Bill Clinton visited North Korea and negotiated the release of 2 American journalists. Well, the North Koreans also tested a nuclear bomb earlier this summer, along with several missile launches. Joining us now, Matt Bennett. He's a former deputy assistant to President Bill Clinton for intergovernmental affairs, also a national security analyst with Third Way, which is a left-leaning think tank. Matt, thanks for being with us. All right, Pyongyang, we know, has already successfully tested plutonium-based nuclear devices. Now they may be able to do it with uranium, but that doesn't really change the threat, does it?
No, it doesn't. Really, any way you slice it, we already knew that the North Koreans had nuclear capability. They've tested plutonium-based bombs twice now. They haven't been stunningly successful either time, but they did manage to explode 2 plutonium-based bombs. So we know that they're nuclear armed.
You know, this represents yet another product of 2 decades of diplomatic failure spread over 4 presidents. Clearly, diplomacy isn't working. Probably won't work in the future. What about deterrence? Deterrence succeeded in deterring the Soviet Union during the Cold War. Can it work with a guy like Kim Jong-il, who may be less rational than Soviet leaders?
Well, we think so. First of all, he's dying. It's pretty clear that he will be gone soon. And the expectation with North Koreans, both under Kim and under whoever succeeds him, probably his son, is that they're not suicidal. These are not millenarian jihadists that we're dealing with who think that they're going to go get a bunch of virgins in heaven. These are people who like the life that they're living. They live very high in North Korea while their country starves. So we don't believe that they're a direct threat to attack South Korea or to attack the United States or anyone else.
Matt,
the real threat with the...
I'm sorry, real quickly, I want to get this in. We know the North has peddled missile technology to Iran, Syria, and Pakistan. Might they peddle nuclear bombs or the know-how to rogue nations in addition to terrorist groups like Al-Qaeda?
Well, that's the overwhelming threat that we just simply cannot tolerate and must be stopped. The one thing to understand, though, about nuclear weapons is that they basically have a return address on them, particularly unsophisticated weapons like the North Koreans are developing. So if they were to sell a bomb to terrorists or to a rogue nation and it was used, we would know that that came from the North Koreans and they would suffer very, very severe consequences.
Right.
So we believe that they can be deterred, but we don't know that for sure.
Right. All right, Matt Bennett, Foreign Affairs Analyst. Thanks so much, Matt.
North Korea announces it's on the brink of a major breakthrough in its nuclear weapons program. And our next guest says this could actually mean trouble for the U.S. when it comes to Iran. So what is the connection?
Well, Gordon Chang is here to explain. He's the author of Nuclear Showdown, North Korea Takes on the World. Gordon, nice to see you this morning.
Good to be here.
On this Labor Day weekend. Let's talk about this Iran-Syria connection. If North Korea is allowed to enrich uranium, move towards developing nuclear weapons, of course, the fear of the world, how then is Iran and Syria, how are they likely to be involved in this process?
Well, we know that North Korea has been selling nuclear technology to the Iranians. The Iranians were in North Korea for the test of its 2 nuclear weapons in 2006 and in this year. We know that the North Koreans have sold the Iranians at least 1 nuclear reactor. That was the one that was destroyed by the Israelis in the Syrian desert in September 2007.
Right.
These 2 countries are as thick as thieves.
I just want to work backward really quickly. How close do we believe North Korea is to perfecting the technology?
Well, we really don't know. There are many people, and they could very well be right, that says, oh, this is 3-4 years down the road, but we don't really know very much about this uranium program, and they could already be there. So it's.
But they're claiming they have begun to enrich uranium.
They claim that they've just about perfected uranium enrichment technology, but they could be lying, and they could actually have perfected it already.
This comes as a shock, of course, as former President